Welcome. In this video, we are going to understand installation of Hadoop on Linux instance. This process is one of the most important process of this workshop. You have to stay focused in order to complete this demonstration. In this demonstration, we are going to perform these following steps. We are going to install Hadoop with HDFS, Yarn and MapReduce on Linux instance. To do this, we are going to follow the following process. We are going to download Hadoop from Apache website. We are going to extract Hadoop. We are going to copy this to local directory for installation. Then we may create a name node and data node directory. We have to set the ownerships. We have to allow SSH access for Hadoop. We have to configure core site, HDFS site, Yarn site, MapReduce site. We have to configure environment variables for Hadoop. We have to configure environment variables for Bash. We have to restart the machine. Then finally we are going to format the name node, start the DFS, start the Yarn, and we'll be able to access Hadoop on port number 8088 and name node on 50070. In order to access the files, we have to allow firewall as well. So we are going to set rules on firewall, and you will be able to understand how we can set the rules to allow access to port number 8088 and 50070. Let's get started. In order to continue from your compute engine, you have to start your SSH machine. Once your SSH is available on your Hack with a Big Data 2 at master, we are going to get started with installation of Hadoop. At the moment, you can see that I have no files in the directory. So first, I would like to download Hadoop release from Apache website. In order to do this, let's go to the website. On Google, we can download Hadoop Apache download, and as soon as you type in this, you'll get the first link for Apache Hadoop releases. Let's click here. At this moment, 2.7.3 version is the most stable version, which was released on 25 August 2016, and we like to get the binary files for this version. To download the binary files, I would like to download the binary file from this repository using HTTP protocol. So I'm going to select, copy the link address, and I'm going to download my Hadoop from this URL. To get back, let's go to our Linux instance, which we are connected through our Google browser. What we can do is we can make use of the command wget, and we can specify the URL. From this URL, we are going to download our Hadoop. Let's press enter, and now you can see that around 204 MB of Hadoop will be downloaded in our machine. We're getting a speed of 14.78 MB per second on cloud platform. So once the data is downloaded, now we can execute ls command to see that we have got Hadoop 2.7.3.tar.gz, which is an archive downloaded on our Linux instance. First of all, we have to extract the instance in order to proceed next. To extract the instance, we are going to make use of command tar, and we are going to provide sudo so that we can do that with root privileges. So we are going to tar, we are going to extract verbose archive file forcefully. Name of the archive file will be Hadoop 2.7.3.tar.gz. Let's press enter. So now you can see that our Hadoop archive, which we have downloaded from the website, will be extracted into a new directory. So once we have extracted, we can execute the clear command, and if we execute list, you can see that we've got a new directory, Hadoop 2.7.3. Let's browse to the directory. Within this Hadoop 2.7.3, you can see that we have some files available. Binary files, etc. configuration files, and there are various other files which are required for you to use Hadoop. Let's come out of the directory using cd ... Let me clear the space. So at the moment we are into the root directory wherein we have the Hadoop directory. In order to proceed with the installation, I would like to create a new directory in my local for my current user, and I'm going to copy the contents of Hadoop 2.7.3 into that directory. So let's get started. I'm going to make a directory with super user privileges, make directory. Within root we have a user directory, therein we have a local directory. Within this we are going to create a new directory, Hadoop. I'm doing this because I have set some configuration files which you will be using further in this video in order to configure Hadoop. And in those configuration files I have already specified the path as user local Hadoop. Hence I'm insisting to install Hadoop directory into this user local Hadoop. So let's just create a directory known as user local Hadoop. Once the directory is made, we are going to copy contents recursively and forcefully from the current directory Hadoop 2.7.3 into the directory user So every content of this directory will be downloaded or copied into user local Hadoop. So let's just do that. Once we did that, now we can execute list command in order to check the contents of my user local Hadoop directory, and you can see that I've got the files copied. Once the files are copied, now I would like to set some configurations for my bash shell. In this configuration, I would like to set some environment variables which are required for Java and Hadoop to interface with each other and execute the services. You will be able to get these configuration files within the download transcript section below on your one-to-one account. I have the following configurations file available in the directory. In my Windows Explorer within C, I have a big data directory wherein I have arranged all these configurations. So first of all, I would like to get started with configuration of environment variables for Hadoop. In the configurations, let me just explain you. We are setting Java home, we are setting Hadoop home, and there are various other environment variables which we will set, which are required for our Hadoop to operate properly on our Linux instance. So let's just copy this, right click, copy. We'll go to our Linux instance and we are going to paste the configuration within sudo nano.bash rc. So here in the file sudo nano bash rc, at the bottom of this bash rc file, I'm going to paste my bash rc environment variables. So let us use Ctrl+Shift+V to paste the configurations. So after the configurations are done and your machine is restarted, all these variables, environment variables, will be set on local machine, that is your Linux instance. Use Ctrl+O to save, Ctrl+X to exit. So we have set the configurations for environment variables on our Linux instance. After we have done this configuration, we have to set Java path in our Hadoop environment file. To do this, we can see that the default Java home is user lib jvm java 8 oracle. So let's just copy this path and I'm going to set this path in my Hadoop environment variable. The Hadoop environment variable file is available in this directory /user local Hadoop etc. Hadoop environment.sh. We'll open this file using Notepad editor, and once we have opened the file, if we go down, you can see that here we don't have the Java home path set. So we are going to remove this variable and I would like to manually set the path. So let's use Ctrl Shift V and we are going to save the path of Java. Let's use Ctrl O to save, Ctrl X to exit. We'll use the clear command and now configurations for my Hadoop environment variables which requires Java is set. Now in order to proceed next, I would like to perform some configurations on my HDFS site, core site, yarn site and MapReduce site. To do this, let me just show you where these files are available. Let's just list out within your user, local, Hadoop, etc. Hadoop. As soon as we press enter, you can see that we have some files here. We have a core site.xml, then we have HDFS site.xml, we have MapReduce site.template which we later need to convert into site.xml, and then we have yarn site.xml. So we have to perform configurations on these files. So let's just begin with the configuration. To configure core site.xml, you can download the configuration file from the download transcript section on your one-to-one account. For my machine, I'm taking the configurations from here. Let's just double click, and this is the configuration which we have to set in our core site.xml. So I've just copied the configuration, and using this configuration it is specifying that in order to connect to HDFS, we are going to connect to localhost on port number 9000. Let's just open the Linux instance. We're going to use the command sudo nano/user local Hadoop etc. Hadoop, and here we are going to change the site core site.xml. So let's open this core site.xml, and if we go down, you can see that at the moment configuration is empty. So within the configuration tag, we are going to paste the properties. So we are going to paste the property for the default name of the file system, and file system will be accessible on localhost at port number 9000. Use Ctrl O to save the file, Ctrl X to close. Next, what we like to do, we like to set the configuration for our HDFS site.xml. To perform the configuration, let's just go to the directory here. I'm going to copy the configurations for HDFS. Let's just copy the HDFS configuration. In HDFS, we are going to set the replication value. We are going to define name of the name node, and we are going to define name of the data node directory. Let's go to our Linux instance. Let's open the file hdfs site.xml. We are going to provide the site hdfs site.xml. We'll go to the configurations, and using Ctrl Shift V, we are going to save the configuration. Let's use Ctrl O to save, Ctrl X to exit. Once we're done, now we need to update the configuration for our yarn site.xml. To do this, we'll go to the directory here, and we are going to get the configurations for yarn site. For yarn, we are going to set the node manager auxiliary services and the MapReduce shuffling services. To do this, let's go to the browser here. We are going to open yarn site.xml, and on the yarn site, within the configurations, let's just paste the configurations. We're saving the configurations, and we have closed it. And finally, we have to set the configurations for the MapReduce site as well. But here we don't have a file for MapReduce, so we are going to generate the XML file using this template. To do this, let's just sudo move, or what we can do, we can simply copy recursively and forcefully the file MapReduce, or the file from slash user local Hadoop etc. Hadoop MapReduce site.xml.template to the file /user local Hadoop etc. Hadoop MapReduce site.xml. So what we are trying to do, we are copying the template file into a MapReduce site.xml. Once we copied the file, we are going to perform the configurations. To perform the configuration, now I would like to change my MapReduce site, and we are going to specify name of the file MapReduce site.xml. Let's open the configurations, and in the configurations we are going to paste the configurations for the MapReduce site. So we'll go to the directory here. We're going to open our MapReduce configurations, and in the MapReduce configuration we are going to specify name of the MapReduce framework, which is Yarn. Let's go to the file here. Use Ctrl+Shift+V, Ctrl+O to save, Ctrl+X to close. So once we did this, all the configurations for Hadoop has been done. So let me just clear the statement at the moment. Once we have performed all the configurations, now what next we need to do is we need to authorize SSH access to our local machine. To do this, we are going to generate a public key for SSH access, and we are going to copy that public key into authorized keys. To generate an SSH key, we can use the application SSH keygen. We are going to generate a specific type of the key which we want to generate, and we want to generate an RSA key. To generate a key of RSA type, we can choose the default name as ID_RSA, and we are going to press enter. We are not going to set any password, so we are going to press enter. So there is no password set, and an SSH keygen has been generated. So new ID_RSA.pub file has been generated in .ssh directory. You can see that here. This is the directory which has been this is the file which has been generated. And now what next we need to do? We need to copy this into our authorized keys. So in order to do that, we can simply copy that using sudo cat .ssh ID_RSA public key, and we are going to save that into the SSH directory, and we are going to create a file known as authorized keys. So once we put enter, now our local machine will be able to access the local host using SSH. Hadoop requires SSH facilities in order to execute services which are authorized through a user account, and at the moment we are going to authorize our Hadoop installation with Hackweather Big Data 2 account. So once we have given SSH access, now next what we like to do is we like to create a name node directory and a data node directory which will be used for analysis. To do this, let's make a directory mkdir. We are going to use -p option in order to create multiple directories by executing one single command. So we'll be creating a new directory, user local Hadoop. Within this directory, I'm going to create a new directory known as HDFS, and within this HDFS, I'm going to create name node. I'm choosing HDFS/name node because I have already specified this path in the configuration file which we have done in HDFS site.xml. So let's just create a name node. Now we like to create one more directory, and this directory will be known as data node. So we have created the name node and data node. These directories will be responsible for analysis of your large or big data sets. And in order to confirm why I am choosing the name as HDFS data node or why this path, so I have already specified this path in the configuration files which we did. So let me just show you. The files are available in the Hadoop directory in my HDFS site.xml. So as soon as you enter, if you go a little down on this file, you can see that we have specified the file as user local Hadoop HDFS name node for the name node directory and data node for the data node directory. So hence I have used and I have created these directories wherein analysis will be performed. Now, once we have got the name node and data node created, we like to set ownership for the Hadoop installation. To do this, we can execute the command sudo change ownership to Hackweda Big Data 2 user recursively for all the files and folders available within user local Hadoop. So now Hackweda Big Data 2 will be the supreme owner of this Hadoop installation. Now once the installation is done, now we need to restart our machine so that we can execute the bash exports, the environment variables which we have set, and then we will be able to run our HDFS command. So at the moment, before restart, if I would like to show you that if I execute something like HDFS, we don't have the access available at the moment because it says command not found. But once we will restart the machine, then we are going to be able to access all these commands like HDFS, Hadoop, and various other commands. So if I show you Hadoop command as well, at the moment it is not available. So let's just restart the machine and we are going to access Hadoop. So in order to reboot the machine, we can simply execute the code sudo reboot and the machine will be rebooted. So we have executed a quick reboot at the moment. I'm going to close this window. I'm going to leave this window, and from the compute engine, I'm going to refresh the compute engine, and I would like to reconnect using SSH. After the machine is ready, we will be able to execute DFS commands like HDFS name node format. Will be able to start the DFS, will be able to start name node, data nodes, will be able to start yarn services and many more things. So now we like to connect back to our instance again using SSH access. So we are trying to connect to SSH. We are connecting. Once we have got the connection, now we like to test whether the configurations have been done or not. So quickly I can check the configurations for my java_home using echo command, and now you can see that bashrc has executed and we have the home variable set. So at the moment, if I type in command hdfs and if I enter, you can see that now hdfs is available and set. In the same way, if I would like to execute commands like Hadoop, so once the Hadoop server will start, we'll be able to use these commands. So once you have restarted the configuration, you will be able to use these commands. Now, what next we like to do? At the moment, we don't have Hadoop running. So in order to run the Hadoop, first of all, we have to format the name node. In order to format, let's just set HDFS name node, and we are going to format the name node first. Once the name node is formatted, then we will be able to start the DFS and start yarn. So let's just press enter, and we are going to perform formatting on the name node. So name node has been performed and it has been formatted. Once the name node has been formatted, now we like to start our services. So let me just clear the statement, and I'm going to execute the statement start dfs.sh. Let's press enter. So now DFS will try to connect to the local host and would like to start. So yes, we like to connect. So permanently this has been added. Name node has been started on Big Data 2. Data node has been started, and the logs will be maintained in the data node master.out directory. Then we are going to start secondary name nodes. Let's press enter. Yes. Secondary name node has been started and it is being logged. So at the moment, everything has been done. Here you can see that there's a warning, and this warning is just because we have an old library for native code loader, so you can just ignore it. Now, once you have started the DFS, now you can start yarn.shell. So once you started your yarn, Node Manager will start, and now you can execute the command JPS in order to test the services which are running. So once you executed JPS, you can see that at the moment your name node is running, Node Manager is running, data nodes are running, secondary name node and resource managers is running. So at this moment, you are ready with your Hadoop installation. Now in order to access the Hadoop installation, we like to allow access to port number 8088 and 50070 using firewall. So in order to do that, let's get back to the VM instance for the master. We'll go to the master instance. Let's click on the master instance and we are going to configure firewall rules. We can edit the configuration. Once we edit the configurations for this VM instance, let's go down here. We have to go to the network properties. So there are default network properties set for the project. So let's click on default. And within this default properties, after the subnetworks, here we have a section known as firewall rules. We are going to add a firewall rule. Let's name the rule as my rules. That has to be all lower cases. These are optional values, so we can ignore. The network is default. We can ignore the source filter. We have to specify the IP range, and we would like every user to be able to connect to our instance. So we are providing 0.0.0 on all the subnet mask. Then we have to specify the port numbers which we want to allow. So on TCP protocol, we want to allow 8088 port. Then on TCP protocol, we like to allow 50070 port. So these will be the two ports which we like to allow, and we're going to create the firewall rule. Once the firewall rule has been done, configurations will be saved, and we'll be able to see my rules will be ready. So we are waiting for my rules to be executed and ready. And now at the moment you can see that we have got access to 8088 and there is one more port, that is 50070. So once we have got access to these ports, we can browse to our server. Let's go to network details and we can directly browse to the server from here. This is the IP address. Either we can go to VM instances as well. Here we have the IP external address though, and here is your external IP address. Let's click on this IP address. So once you click on the IP address, nothing will be accessible because there is nothing listing on port number 80. But if you browse to port number 8088 and you press enter, now at the moment you will be able to access the cluster, and this is your Hadoop cluster information. At the moment you can see that the total memory available is 8 GB for access, and here you can view information about the nodes. So we have a master node, then we have node labels. Once we will be executing applications, we'll get information about how many applications have been executed, how many have been failed, how many are being submitted. There are multiple tools available here as well for server metrics and logs. At the moment we have only one active node. You can install Hadoop for multi-node cluster as well. So you can have one master node and various other child nodes, and you can distribute large data sets to multiple machines as well. In order to access the name node information, we can browse to this IP address, and in this case we'll browse to the port number 50070. As soon as we execute, we reach to the name node information, and here we will be able to access information about data nodes and the data sets which are available at the moment on our Hadoop system. So So I hope you understand how to install Hadoop, and how to use Hadoop will be taught in the next session. Thank you for watching.